Welcome, everyone. Happy solstice. My name is Meagan Mermaid, and I teach feminine energy with the magic of the mermaids of Sirius. And I'm so excited to have you guys here, either live or on the replay. It's a little earlier than I usually go live, but because I'm in Pacific time, I'm hoping that some of you that are in the other time zones will actually benefit from this earlier time. So we're going to give everyone a moment or two to hop on. And I just want us all just to take a really deep breath in. We've been going through a lot of intensity, as always, right? But I feel like specifically in the last few weeks, we've been prepping up and gearing up for this next chapter. And this is what happens. Solstices and equinoxes are the doorways and portals from one chapter into the next. So feel free to share where you're joining from, your name. I'd love to see you live. It's so exciting for us all to be here together. And when we connect in ceremony, in community, when we're going through these really big activation portals, it not only intensifies and magnifies our own unique prayers and manifestations, but it also helps to bring more ease and flow into this transitionary process. So I want you to know that if you're in this space of uncertainty, you're not alone. And what's really great about solstices is that, especially if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, the solstice is a time where it's summer and we have the most amount of light that's available from the energy of the sun. So today we're going to be working on what's called solstice radiance activations. And the Mermaids of Sirius are going to guide us in how we can take that energy from the sun and allow it to pour forth from our beautiful solar plexus to remind us of our own inner radiance. And, you know, if you're anything like me and you've gone through a lot of difficult situations over the past few months, sometimes it can feel a little bit challenging to remember that radiance or to find that feeling of joy if you're feeling irritation or frustration. So the mermaids are going to talk to us today about the two paths that are going to keep us in our radiance as we move into this next chapter, this next season of our lives for the next few months until we get to the equinox in September. And we're also going to discuss a little bit about Venus going retrograde, which is happening in July. We're already in that shadow period. And Saturn just went retrograde. So actually, I feel like I might start with that. Saturn just went retrograde in Pisces, and I want you to consider what was going on for you in March, because this was around the time that Saturn first went into Pisces. And it's sort of the time that some of the challenges or the lessons or the experiences that might be reappearing first started to show themselves. But one of the things that I want you to consider between now and I believe it's November when Saturn goes direct again. So we have quite a while in this retrograde period. And correct me if I'm wrong, I didn't actually write the notes down, but I'm pretty positive that I remember being November. And so anyway, you know, we have to think about anything that's not in flow. Where have you been trying to make things happen and it just doesn't seem like it? I'll share an example in my own life where in March, I got this like dumb little bump on my eyelid, right? And so, in order for me to be seen by the eye doctor, I had to like first see my primary care doctor, and then they had to give me a referral, and then they had to like send me to this other doctor, and then I had to call and make an appointment, and all of these things happened where like my insurance got switched, and then all of these things kept happening. The appointment got canceled. I had to like rebook it, and then once I get there, after all of the hoops that I had to go through over a period of, it was since February that this happened, the end of February. So months of dealing with all of this red tape. And I get to the doctor and she's like, oh, I can't really help you. Just keep using hot compresses on it. And like, it was like one of those very difficult lessons for me to realize that I kept trying to push and force and manipulate and make things happen. And they just weren't happening. Hi, Sonia. Good to see you. So, in those moments where it feels like you're pushing against something, that's your opportunity to relax and let go and trust that if it was supposed to be happening, if that was the path, it would be easy. It would be in flow. You wouldn't have to try so hard to make it happen. And when we're trying to make things happen, we're out of our feminine energy, we're in our masculine energy. And not only are we trying to push against this current, going the opposite way of the flow, the divinity of the universe, but we're also blocking ourselves from blessings because we're trying to micromanage how things should look. So another thing that we want to consider with Saturn being in Pisces retrograde is that these ideas of victim consciousness may come up. And so think about that. Have you been asking yourself lately questions of like, why am I still in this situation? Why hasn't this changed yet? What am I doing wrong? Yay, Julie sharing so true. Welcome. I'm so glad to have you all here. So the mermaids want us to have this total paradigm shift as we step into our radiance activations today. Instead of looking at your current situation and asking yourself, what am I doing wrong? Why am I still here? Where did I fail? Where did I mess up? Right? Because we have this desire, we have this idea of where we should be, right? And, if you connect with mermaid energy, you want beauty, you want things to be beautiful all of the time. And sometimes in order to get to that beauty, we have to do some cleaning up and we have to do some service. So if we start looking at our current situation as not something that we're experiencing because we did something wrong, but we're experiencing because this is where the universe wants us, where the earth wants us, where we can be of the most service, that paradigm shift is going to change everything. And the reason for that is because if you align with mermaid energy or fairy energy or any elemental energy, a part of our work here on the earth plane is to work with the elements and to work with the earth. So oftentimes the reason why we're in a specific location has nothing to do with the workplace or the home that's on the land. It's deeper than that. It's the actual land. So you might be in a certain location on the planet right now because your light, your elemental energy, and your magic is most needed on that place of the land. So the way that you can sort of graduate out of those experiences, especially when you get into those victim consciousness moments of like, why am I here? This doesn't feel desirable. It feels unpleasant. I want things to change. I don't want to be here. It's very easy to get into those modes of thinking. And when we have one of those thoughts, it's like a whole bunch more start to flood in. So when you start to change that perspective of asking yourself and asking the earth, how can I be of service? What do you need? So as an elemental, our number one job is beauty. That is our job. As elementals, we're here to take the suffering on the planet, both individually and collectively, and take that as the mud and turn it into the lotus of beauty. Keep creating beauty and don't look back. So that's one of the mermaid empowerments today is I keep creating beauty and don't look back. And if you notice on this image, there's a picture of a peacock. So Peacock Medicine perfectly highlights this role that we have of being of service. And when we consider the medicine of peacocks, they get that beautiful, colorful plumage from swallowing thorns. Isn't that crazy? You swallow the thorn, you get the beautiful feathers. And how many times have some, let me start over. Have you ever seen a peacock and you're just like, amazed, right? I know Leah's on the call, and she has a couple peacocks on her farm, and they're just so stunning and so gorgeous. And when you see a peacock in person, especially that male peacock with his feathers out, it literally just stops you in your tracks. It stops that patterning of thoughts because you're just like, oh my God, that's so beautiful, right? I think Leah, what are their names? Peter and Pandora are her peacocks. Yeah. And so that's us. We're these beautiful, stunning creatures of the goddess in form. And that's what we have to remember. We're a keeper of the feminine flame. If you have mermaid DNA, you are a fractal of the goddess. The goddess is expressing herself through you, your unique embodiment. So that's why this idea of radiance is so important. Number one, because with Saturn going retrograde in Pisces, it's a lot easier for us to get into this victim mode of nothing good is happening. I keep getting stuck in these same situations. I've done everything I could. Why don't I see the results just yet? You know, it's easy. We can't blame ourselves or shame ourselves. That's the reality that is most prevalent right now, being a victim. So then we got to tune into what our gifts and our abilities are, our tools in our toolkit. And the tools in our toolkit are gratitude and generosity. This is what we got to focus on in these next few months from solstice to equinox. We are receiving all of this light. And so this light has to come to us first. We have to give it to ourselves first. We have to align with the aspect of the goddess within us first. And that light has to radiate out, and it radiates out in our service of beauty. And we get to that light through our gratitude and our generosity. So I'm going to talk about that more in just a second when we get more to what the solstice is about. But I want to cycle back to this Venus retrograde that will be happening in Leo. So I just feel curious for any of you, let me know if you felt like anything shifted for you since yesterday, because Venus went into shadow. So when it goes into shadow before retrograde, it means that it's walking on this path. And then when it goes retrograde, it's going to go back, and then it's going to walk down the same steps of the path. And then it's going to go retrograde. It's going to go back on those same steps, retrace the steps, and then it'll retrace the steps again as it goes direct. So that means that starting from yesterday, the clues of the experiences or the thoughts that we're overcoming, the limiting beliefs that we're clearing, it's all starting to show us. We're getting a glimpse of the themes that we're going to be working with over the next few months. So with Venus in Leo, it's still direct in Leo. This is about falling in love with ourselves, which is so hand in hand with this radiance of recognizing that we're the goddess in form. So I'm going to be doing a ceremony, Mermaid Mystery School Class 2 on July 5th. So the oh, sorry, hit the cards. The link is in the bio. And if you've already purchased class 1, I will be sending out an additional link for you to be able to purchase all of the classes at a discounted rate. But that particular class is all going to be focused on how to receive the vision of our higher mind and how to stop this cycle of the feminine of looking for external validation or fixing or trying to put all of our magic onto someone else, usually a man or some type of masculine energy, and instead starting to give it back to ourselves, to this reconnection to our power, because we've lost ourselves in our search in rescuing other people. We've lost ourselves, and we've lost ourselves as the feminine, and that's what we're here to reclaim as keepers of the feminine flame. So with Leo's all about romance. It's all about big shows of affection. It's all about our inner child. And so certain things might be popping up for you about where you might have trouble loving yourself. Like, for example, do you look in the mirror and you know your focus immediately goes to like, oh, I want to change that, or this looks, bleh. You know what I mean? We really have to be mindful of how we're looking at our appearance, especially as we look in the mirror. So I really work, even if it can be challenging, starting with just like looking in the mirror every day and saying, I love you. I am here for you. You are perfect. Or one of the affirmations that I love to say is, I am the goddess. I am sacred and holy. I am the goddess. I am sacred and holy. I am the goddess. I am sacred and holy. So that's the perspective shift, when instead of aligning with this story that we've created for ourselves as this character in this simulation, in this incarnation where, we're such and such and we work at this place and we live here, and we get so wrapped up in that story. So when we kind of take our focus away into the bigger perspective, and we remember that we are an aspect of the goddess, she's flowing through us in a unique expression. And the more that we tune into her and her guidance and her wisdom, the better we're going to feel about ourselves, and the easier it's going to be to create and to receive beauty. So 3 mermaid empowerments are going to be really helpful for these retrograde portals. The first is self-love. And the mermaid empowerment for self-love is, I love the fins I'm in. And so the 3 pillars of mermaid consciousness are self-love, self-forgiveness, and self-mastery. And it's literally like, love yourself, forgive yourself. When you forget, choose again. Love yourself, forgive yourself. When you forget, choose again. Love yourself, forgive yourself. When you forget, choose again. The choosing again is the self-mastery of just continuing to come back to this space of identifying with the divinity within us to heal those feelings of unworthiness or not enoughness that comes from our human experience. And the next card is acceptance. I accept what is and create from there. So especially during Venus retrograde, it's almost like more difficult at times. And I believe Venus goes retrograde. Leah, do you have the exact dates? I think it's like July 22nd or 23rd. It's the 20-something of July. So I don't have the exact dates in front of me. I apologize for that. But when Venus is retrograde, all things love, beauty, feminine, are a little bit more difficult to access, or we might feel more judgment about them, or, just in general, it might feel more challenging to find that experience of feeling good, find that experience of joy, find that experience of, July 22nd through September 3rd. Thank you so much, Leah. I appreciate you so much. And that means that not that we just stop and we let ourselves get into that victim mode of, and how many times does this happen? I know one of my shadows in my gene keys is vanity. And so if I'm not feeling good about myself, I have a really hard time getting into a higher vibration. And so I feel like that's common for most of us, that when we're feeling good, when we feel like we're happy with our appearance, we're happy with, the way things are going, it's a lot easier to get into that flow, right? But our work, our beauty is accepting where we're at and creating from there. It doesn't mean that you have to like it. You don't have to like your current circumstances. You don't have to like that you're experiencing health ailments, or that something just doesn't feel desirable for you, or something just feels unpleasant in your life. You don't have to enjoy the unpleasant moments, but you do have to accept them, because it's the resistance that keeps us in that space. Instead, you got to figure out, okay, I'm a servant of beauty. How can I sparkle up this circumstance, right? So maybe, you're not happy with your bathroom. You wish that you had more room, and you wish that there was more light. What can you do in that space instead of every time you go in there, especially because bathrooms and places where we dress ourselves and where we have our personal hygiene practices, that's a place of worship. It's like a sacred temple. When we consider that we are God in human form, then our personal hygiene practices, our rituals, the way that we honor our body is sacred. It's holy. And so these are especially the trigger points where, if there's aspects of your home where you are getting ready or you are devoting yourself to beauty practices and you're not happy with those places, that's a good place to start. So for example, maybe you can bring flowers into your bathroom. Maybe you can put an extra mirror so that it looks a little bit bigger. So this is just one example of maybe you can clean up your bathtub and put little crystals or different things over it. So start looking at your current situation, and instead of asking, why am I here? Ask yourself, how can I bring more beauty into this place? So, wherever you're at in your home, in your car, start cleaning things up. The energy of Lakshmi, which is an aspect of the goddess that is focused on abundance and beauty, her energy really likes clean, pristine spaces. So when you start to work with Lakshmi, you might feel invited to create more spaciousness within your home, to clear out dust. And this goes not only physically, but mentally, spiritually. We have to start clearing out the spaces of clutter and bringing more beauty into those places. Now, I want you to remember that beauty is an inner feeling. It's an inner connection to our radiance. It has nothing to do with society standards of beauty. Do you notice how those standards are always changing? First, it was you had to have thin eyebrows, then you had to have thick eyebrows, and then you had to have a really big, really big boobs, and then they had to be really small, and then you had to have a snatch waist, and then you had to have a giant butt. And it's just like, there's always a standard that this simulation, this matrix is trying to put out to take us away from our own unique beauty. And so that's why these practices of self-love and affirmations and mirror work to recognize the beauty of our divine expression at our age, at our size, whatever you are is perfect. And that might feel challenging to accept, but you got to start there. And then finally, self-care is coming up. So the Mermaid Empowerment for self-care is my self-care is the secret to everything. So you've got to remember that your job is a servant of beauty. So in order to be a servant of beauty and a keeper of the feminine flame, you've got to make sure that your cup, your vessel is filled, and then it can overflow and pour out to everything and everyone around you. But if you're trying to do the opposite, which is very common, giving and giving and giving and giving, and then maybe if you have time after the demands of your family or your children or your partner or your work, whatever it is, maybe at the end of the day you can practice self-care. That is a recipe for failure and depletion and frustration and resentment. You've got to focus on you first. You've got to be overflowing and giving from the overflow. So before we get into our activations today, I wanted to go over this roadmap that can support us when we're in that space of victim consciousness, or when we're not feeling our best, or when we're having a hard time focusing on beauty or finding that feeling of feeling good. It's all about our thought work. So the universe is going to support us in our desire and doing all of the heavy lifting. So we don't have to know how things are going to happen or when. And if you find yourself spinning your wheels about like, well, how is this going to work? Or what if this happens? Then that's your opportunity to shift, right? Self-mastery, love yourself, forgive yourself. When you forget, choose again. So then you got to figure out how to master your mindset. That's our work, is to master our mind. So gratitude and generosity are two paths that get us there, that get us out of those unproductive thoughts, out of those limiting beliefs that don't make us feel our best. So generosity, the Mermaid Empowerment for generosity, is whatever I want, I give away. We have to understand that the universe is in a constant space of giving and receiving, giving and receiving. That's why I like working with the energy of Lakshmi, because she has, I think this is her mantra or her mudra, where it's like giving and receiving, giving and receiving, giving and receiving. Our right side is our masculine, our left side is our feminine. So whenever we're giving, we're always in a space of receiving. So if you feel like something is blocked, if you feel like your abundance is blocked, if you feel like, there's a slowing down in your business, if you feel like something is not in flow, then you got to start asking yourself, what can I give? And sometimes it's money, sometimes it's time, sometimes it's a smile or a compliment or listening to someone. That's our service. How can we bring beauty into every situation? And when we bring in the energy of generosity, it creates support, receptivity, and abundance. Sounds good, right? Don't we all want more of that? So, the Mermaid Empowerment for support is I'm surrounded by love and support. We have to remember that mermaids are a pod, a community, that we're all here working together. And that's what's really great, about technology platforms like this. And as we start to wake up and recognize that even if we're spread out across the globe and we're not like next to our pod all of the time, that we have these ways of communicating. And especially with Venus being in Leo, I myself am a Leo sun. So I understand the difficulty of that Leo energy and sometimes the pride that can come in asking for help or asking for support. But we've got to remember that in order for generosity to work, we also have to be available to receive support. And sometimes, if it's challenging or difficult for you, try to remember a feeling or a time that you felt supported. For me, I have this aunt, and she's so generous and so sweet. Like every time I visit her, she always wants to take Aria and I out to eat, or she'll like buy all of my favorite things at the grocery store, or she just always goes out of her way to be so sweet. Like one time, she even just like brought me a coffee, and the barista wrote like #1 niece on it. And it's just like so sweet. And she's one of those people that it's really challenging to give back to her. She has a challenge receiving. But every time I want to feel that energy of support, I think about all of the ways that my aunt is always there for me. And I feel so grateful for her. And it's that feeling that starts to get us back into, if we remember the feeling, it's easier to access it in the present moment. And then receptivity is that missing piece, right? I just told you about how my aunt loves to give, but she has a hard time receiving. That's very common with feminine energy. The Mermaid Empowerment for receptivity is I'm open and receptive. So we have to allow ourselves to receive, to stay in that cycle. Yay, Nicole sharing. So happy I'm making a live for a change. Yay. I know this is like a super early time for me, but luckily I woke up and I even got to sit outside on the patio. I'm in Scottsdale right now, and it was like so sunny and beautiful at like 5:30 in the morning. And I was just like looking out at the palm trees, and I was letting myself receive the beauty of nature, connecting with all of the trees and the plant life and the birds here. That's what we do as elementals, is we can enlist the help of the winged ones and the trees and the plants and the four-leggeds, and they can help us manifest too. Hi, Richard. Good to see you. And so finally, when we're in the space of generosity, we step into the vibration of abundance. And the Mermaid Empowerment for abundance is I'm infinite, abundant, and blessed. That's our natural vibration. And we just have forgotten that because we've identified so much with our character in this game rather than identified with divinity and consciousness, making itself aware through our eyes. So finally, we have the path of gratitude. So gratitude and generosity are the two paths that will get us out of victim consciousness, out of self-judgment, and into self-love and abundance and receptivity, support, all those things. So gratitude is like our secret weapon for, getting into a better feeling emotion, a better feeling thought, a better feeling experience. We've got to start looking at what's going well. And I want to ask yourself, I want you to ask yourself, how many times in your life have you spent so much time and so much energy and so much mental activity worrying about how something was going to work out, what the solution would be, how it would happen, when it would happen, and you were so worked up about it, and it always works out, doesn't it? It always works out. So we just have to keep reminding ourselves, silly human, of course it's going to work out. Let's get excited about how the universe is going to make it work this time, or how it's going to how the solution is going to find its way to us now. And we can get there by gratitude rather than using our mental work to try to figure out a solution, which is the job of the universe. Our job is to make sure that our mindset is in good standing. So you can think about it like if you're at a party and you have these bouncers, and every single time that there's a fear thought, these bouncers kick it out of your mind party. Like you've got to start really being aware of what you're thinking. And if that thought is making you feel better or worse, that's your job, focusing on your thoughts and finding the thoughts that make you feel better. So gratitude is such a great path for this, because if you can start to focus on what is going well, all the times that you've been blessed in the past, everything that you have, oh my goodness, like it's so beautiful today. I'm so grateful for the sun. I'm so grateful for air condition. I'm so grateful for my morning coffee. I'm so grateful for all of the people that get to join with us live today. I'm so grateful that I have tools of support. I'm so grateful for my laptop, for my car, for my job, for my child, my partner, my family. There's always something that we can be grateful for. And when we get into that vibration of gratitude, then we can receive more things to be grateful for. So forgiveness is also part of that path of gratitude. So the Mermaid Empowerment forgiveness is choosing forgiveness sets me free. Richard's sharing he's grateful for me. Thank you. I'm grateful for all of you guys too. So we've got to figure out over these next few months where we need to extend forgiveness. And forgiveness doesn't mean that you let bad behavior in your life, but it does mean that you want to get to a space of neutrality and recognize that all of the people that seem like those villains in your life have really been the catalyst for huge growth. And sometimes that growth is showing you the contrast of what you don't want. And you can be like, oh, wow, thank you. I'm so grateful that you showed me exactly how I don't want people to treat me. I'm so grateful that you showed me exactly how I don't want to work. I'm so grateful that you showed me exactly how I don't want to have my day. Or I'm so grateful that you showed me how I want people to treat me in friendships or partnerships. I would not have known that had you not shown me this other option that does not feel pleasant or desirable. So when we start to look at it in that way, we can actually kind of start to have a little bit, maybe just a little bit, a willingness to have a little bit of gratitude for all of those villainary characters. I don't know if villainary is a word, but those characters that we kind of paint as villains, because if we think of ourselves as like players in this game of life, we're all playing out these roles. We have to have those characters that play those roles in order for us to step into our power, our empowerment, our radiance. Hi, Brittany. Good to see you. So then the next empowerment that goes along with gratitude is worthiness. I'm worthy and deserving of my dreams. When we start to identify with our divinity, when we start to connect with our inner mermaid, which is what you learn in Mermaid Mystery School. And if you're not already on my mailing list, by the end of this afternoon, I haven't had a chance to upload it yet, I will have a new mermaid meditation that I just did. And it's really powerful, where you can connect with the mermaids of Sirius and receive a gift for every chakra, an empowerment for every chakra, and begin to activate your crystalline light fin. So it's like really cool. And it's set to like 528 megahertz music, which is the love frequency. It's totally free. So you can subscribe to my mailing list. And if you subscribe before I put it up, I will be sending it out in a newsletter as well. So I'll make sure everybody gets it. But that's a great first start to begin to work with and connect with the energy of your inner mermaid. So your inner mermaid, and we go more into depth with this in Mermaid Mystery School. So class 2 is now available if you want to purchase that. Your inner mermaid is this aspect of the goddess. Brittany's sharing that feels exciting. Yay, good. Your inner mermaid is going to show you how to bring these elements of the mermaid into your body, this playfulness, this innocence, this joy, this sovereign sensuality, this bliss. And once you start working with your inner mermaid as an aspect of your higher self, she's going to direct your life about what she wants. I mean, my inner mermaid found this palm tree dress. That's just one example of like how you'll start to like embody this like bubbly, charismatic, playful mermaid energy, and you'll stop being sorry for it. And then so finally, this brings us to our main empowerment for today. Radiance. And I want to kind of show you this card. I don't know if you can see it very well. So do you see here how there's this brightness within the solar plexus of this mermaid? And behind her, it's actually Mount Shasta and a Stargate portal with the little UFO from Sirius. So there's all kinds of cool stuff going on this card. But anyway, the radiance is recognizing that we have to turn inward, that the light is found here. Our light has to be so bright that we are directed by it, that our light is brighter than the darkness outside that would keep us in those limiting beliefs or keep us in that space of doubting ourselves or doubting our power or doubting our value. Everyone is so highly valued and highly favored because there will never ever be another aspect of the goddess or god if we have our merman here as well. So whatever you want to call that aspect of source or god consciousness, there will never be another unique divine expression of source consciousness looking through your eyes, collecting data of what it's like for awareness to experience itself through your form. That's why every single person is needed. Every single person is important because we're all experiencing life and collecting data of expansion individually. And then as we work together and we co-create, then we can bring even more of this consciousness within us. So that's what we're going to be learning in class 2 is how to bring in that energy of light so that we can focus first on ourselves, and that light will inspire other people to find their own light, and we'll stop losing ourselves trying to fix or rescue everybody else, because it is a failing system that we've been stuck in for a really, really long time. So I have one more announcement before we get into the empowerment activation today. And I'm a little bummed, but I have to trust in divine timing, right? Everything is always in divine timing. So yesterday, I finally finished the last edits on the Mermaid Empowerment Oracle deck. And so there is a company that I'm working with that's publishing it. It's print on demand. So as soon as that publishing submission, I don't know how you call it, but as soon as that submission is approved, which I'm hoping by the end of today, it usually is a pretty fast turnaround, you'll be able to purchase your own Mermaid Empowerment deck. It's only taken me like almost 7 years to download and bring through this wisdom. Every single card on this deck is channeled visionary art from the Mermaids of Sirius. I created a 120-page booklet that has really detailed information about each of the transmissions. It includes the Mermaid Empowerments. It includes moment of flow activities, which is a somatic experience that you can do to ground that empowerment into your body and your physical presence. There's a glossary. There's all of these different invocations. There's all sorts of ways that spreads where you can work with the deck. There's star spreads, relationship spreads, lunar cycle spreads. I've given information on how you can consecrate your deck, how you can read for other people, how you can use it to begin to activate your own psychic and spiritual gifts. And oh my gosh, it's been like such a process. I feel like it's arguably my first book, even though I'm technically working on Mermaid Mystery School as my first book. The guidebook for the Mermaid Empowerment Oracle deck is huge. And the fact that this project is finally complete by Solstice is huge. So the cost of this deck is $88, and I'm including the link in bio, but if you click on it and it just shows like nothing, don't worry about it. Just check back probably tomorrow, because again, it takes like divine timing, right? Richard sharing divine timing. Yeah. And the thing is, there was like little things that I was like, well, I've waited this long. Like for example, I had to figure out how to, not only did I have to figure out how to make a deck, how to format all of it, then I had to figure out how to make a booklet. And then I had to be like, oh, wow. So it's not just about this size. Like you have to get the print area in there. And then I had to figure out how to do page numbers. Like it was just like one initiation after another. So my part is done. Now I just have to wait on the divine timing of the universe. So that deck is finally going to be available, and it is so powerful. I believe Leah is the very first person that has a physical copy of this deck. So maybe she can share how she likes working with the deck, and I'll definitely be sharing more about it, since the mermaid teachings are all inspired by these empowerments that get us into our feminine energy, which, regardless of whether you are masculine or feminine in your gender, we all have masculine and feminine polarities. And so we need that feminine energy to receive and to magnetize miracles and to trust our intuition. So I'm done with all my spiel. Are you guys ready for some Radiance activations? Okay. Yay, Leah's sharing that she loves it. I'm so excited. I feel like it's just so interesting. I just want to share one more thing, that if any of you feel like you've been working on a creative project, or you have a book or something that wants to be birthed through you, be patient with yourself and trust in the timing, because actually most things in our reality work in 7-year cycles. Yeah, thank you, Richard. That's a really powerful statistic. But we have to become the version of us that's ready to release our creativity into the world. And so oftentimes things may take longer than expected, but don't give up, because it's always going to work out at the right time for you, and at the right time that the world is ready for that thing. Especially as star seeds, elementals, we're bringing in something brand new, right? The world has not seen this, at least for eons. Mermaid consciousness is something completely revolutionary, completely brand new, completely cutting edge, the leading edge of consciousness. So if you're here and you're attracted to this information, it's because you are also on the leading edge of consciousness. And so we have to kind of be patient that things will be ready when they're ready, and people will be ready when they're ready. All right, with that being said, let's just go ahead and take a moment to ground into this space. So you might want to just place your feet firmly on the floor, taking a deep breath in, exhaling it out, and just beginning to become present in this space. If you're not in a location that is quiet and free from distractions, you might want to return to this empowerment activation when you do have that availability. And I want you to just continue to breathe, imagining that your breath is like the ocean tide. So the tide that rushes in and the tide that rushes out. And it's almost like this beautiful divine expression that the water represents, of giving and receiving, giving and receiving. And I want you to just experience the presence and the beauty of this moment. You might pay attention to the sound of your breath. Perhaps there are certain sounds in the room, a buzzing or a humming. Houses or rooms are often alive with their own energies. So just allow all of the energies that are in your personal experience to be there, all of the sounds, and just witness them and be open to them and available to them. And now I am consecrating this space for only the highest vibrations of love, truth, healing, and peace. And we choose to align with the highest frequency of love, the highest good of all, and the highest timeline for all. And you may begin to see or visualize that the Celtic spiral, which is a sacred symbol that represents this receptivity and healing and protection of our physical, mental, and spiritual bodies, that this Celtic spiral is beginning to appear in the north, south, east, and west, above us and below us, creating this field of protection. And you might begin to visualize that this beautiful light water, almost like this gorgeous sparkling waterfall of light, begins to descend from source consciousness, and it flows through your crown chakra, through your third eye, through your throat, through your heart, through your solar plexus, your sacral chakra, your root chakra, all the way down to your feet. And this light begins to pour out of you, creating a bubble of white light around you. And this bubble of white light begins to shift and change into pinks and purples and blues and greens. And we're now being surrounded by the rainbow light energy of Sirius. And you might also begin to visualize this beautiful flame that's beginning to appear in your heart. This flame that begins to dance and form with the energies of pink and white within it, bringing in this beautiful Venetian energy. And feel that protection. You might even want to say the mermaid prayer of protection, which is, I'm safe and protected in my bubble of light, free from harm and cloaked in white. So at this time, we welcome in the mermaids of Sirius, and we welcome in the Big Cat Council of Sirius, and we welcome in all of the ascended masters or spirit guides or angels that you work with. Everybody's welcome as long as they come in the highest vibrations of love, truth, healing, and peace. And now my etheric body is stepping out of my body into the room with you and gently pulling your etheric body out of your body. And a stargate begins to appear above our head, 6 feet in diameter, whirling and whizzing, and lapis blue and golden light in a counterclockwise motion. And we are taken up, up, up across dimensional frequencies and realities, up across stars, planets, and galaxies, up, and the elevator doors open. And we step out into the beautiful Sirian star nation on Sirius B, which is a planet that is made mostly of water and is the home of the mermaids of Sirius. And so we're stepping out into this beautiful Mermaid Cove, this very large pool that's surrounded by all of these gorgeous birds of paradise and palm trees. And the palm trees in Sirius are in neon colors of yellow and orange and green and hot pink. And the water is this very beautiful electric blue. And so you might begin to feel and sense the energy of these 7 mermaids that are beginning to swim towards us. And these mermaids are the first 7 mermaids of the High Council of the Mermaids of Sirius. And they're bringing through so much love and so much beauty. And sometimes you're going to experience the mermaids as just being completely filled with starlight to represent the energy of all of the possibilities, the infinite possibilities of light and love that are available to us when we connect to our mermaid, inner mermaid, and we connect to our own aspect of divinity, the goddess particularly in form. And perhaps these mermaids begin to show a form to you that is unique to them. Each of them represent the colors of the chakras. So perhaps their tails are red or orange or yellow, emerald green, sky blue, very deep indigo, and a very powerful violet, almost like an amethyst color. You know, perhaps you might start to experience that you are shape-shifting into your own mermaid form. And whenever we shape-shift into our mermaid form, we are forming a new cellular memory imprint within our DNA, and we are creating new neural pathways within our brain. And those neural pathways can then begin to duplicate, and we can start to bring in and channel as we're bilocating from Sirius this powerful light love energy into this third dimensional space that we're in. So we can consistently bring in the energy of Sirius, the energy of our inner mermaid, the energy of the mermaids of Sirius, whatever we're doing throughout our day once we start this connection. And so I want you to see that the sky is filled with all of these stars. And you know what's really interesting about Sirius is that it's almost like always night and day at the same time. So it's like both of these realities are existing at once, where we have all of this beautiful sunlight and this sky blue energy, almost like the color of Larimar. And then we have this starry night sky with like comets and perhaps even starcraft. And it's all existing simultaneously because it's bringing us into this higher dimensional space of recognizing that all can exist as one and beginning to allow us to receive the divine source of light that is all and is within all. And so you may begin to visualize that this beautiful sun begins to sparkle above you, and you might begin to feel that warmth. And our beautiful mermaid Jade, who is the mermaid that governs our solar plexus chakra, is beginning to step forward. And she's placing her palm out as she goes sort of around in a circle to all of us that are joining live or on the replay. And you might begin to feel this very powerful, almost like sparkly light energy that's beginning to fill your solar plexus. And I want you to just begin to receive and allow yourself to soak in the energies of this sun, this powerful portal of the solstice, where there is more light that is available than ever before. And so all of you just begin to receive that light energy. Maybe you can begin to feel that this very powerful flame within you is beginning to burn away all of our past karma. When we step into solstices, it's an opportunity to accelerate our previous suffering and our cycles of karma, and we can really begin to activate and transform it into something else, which is usually beauty as an elemental. So you might begin to experience a violet flame that's beginning to burn within that center, that solar plexus center within you, as you absorb. And perhaps there might be certain memories that arise for you, moments where you felt unworthy, moments where you felt less than. It could be moments where you have found it difficult to be yourself, express yourself in your full light. Perhaps there's been moments where you've had to dim your light out of fear of being different or fear of how you would be perceived. And so it's almost like this violet flame is beginning to weave this light energy into a new programming software within your DNA that's allowing you to sparkle and shine brighter than ever before without fear, without worry. And this really beautiful empowerment that you're receiving today with this sun energy is going to inspire you. You might be surprised at how new levels of confidence arise within you, or how you're able to really tap into the experience of joy in the ordinary moments of life. There might be moments where you just feel this warmth, almost like honey, like rising up through your body. There's all sorts of ways that this energy can express itself. And as we're all divine expressions of God consciousness, we're all going to experience something a little bit different. But these experiences will be pleasant, they'll be desirable, and it's going to support us in stepping into a deeper connection to our own inner mermaid, a deeper connection to our higher self, a deeper connection to our bliss. And so we are all beauty makers. We are here to step into the bliss of living our path and our purpose in a way where we can give beauty in service to the whole. So you might be inspired after this transmission to make your living space more beautiful, or there might be new ways that you want to express your own physical appearance, or perhaps it might be easier for you to just manifest really cute outfits that are in beautiful fabrics that flatter your figure perfectly, or maybe just magical synchronistic solutions come up where you meet the right people or experiences and you don't have to struggle or force. So as you feel this energy, this solstice energy, this solar energy, just feel, you might even want to place your hands on your solar plexus, and we're going to say this Mermaid Empowerment 3 times. I bask in the glow of my inner radiance. Taking a deep breath in. I bask in the glow of my inner radiance. Taking another deep breath in. I bask in the glow of my inner radiance. And so finally, all of this beautiful white light energy begins to pour through you from your crown all the way down to this beautiful crystalline light fin that's expressing itself beautifully through you. And you might begin to feel how easy it is to flow through the waters of Sirius. Perhaps you might want to dive under the water and experience your mermaid form in this moment, how it feels that you're connected to the water, how it feels that you are one with this present moment. This is the cellular memory imprint that you are now downloading that you can carry with you in every moment of every day. Perhaps you see the mermaids of Sirius smiling at you as they give you these bubble kisses and smile at you as they see you expressing your own mersona, which is a word that I just found that's so cute. Your mersona is your personal expression, your personality of your mermaid form. So you might even see members that are here on the replay or live, and they're expressing their own mersona, and we can all, adore and appreciate our own beauty and admire everyone else's beauty, because all of our own unique beauty is welcome here. There's no more room for jealousy or competition, because every one of us in our unique expression is important and beautiful and safe. And so just allow yourself to experience this feeling of light and love for just a few more moments. And the mermaids of Sirius begin to just sing these really beautiful songs in the Syrian light language. And perhaps you're even receiving your own message today from your own inner mermaid of some intention or some action step that you're ready to take so that you can step into a deeper level of your own radiance. And the Stargate begins to appear above our head, and we are taken up, up, up across dimensional frequencies and realities, up, up, up across stars, planets, and galaxies, up, up, up. And the elevator doors open, and we step back into the room that we're seated in. So your etheric body steps back into your body, and my etheric body steps back into mine. And the sacred space is now closed. So just take a moment. You might want to wiggle your fingers or your toes. Perhaps you can take a drink of water, which is a really powerful way for us to integrate whenever we receive high frequency energies. And hi, Ivy. I see that you shared some comments. I'm so happy to have you here. So the last thing that I'm going to do today is do a little giveaway for class 2 of my Mermaid Mystery School curriculum. If you haven't purchased class 1, it's available. The replay is really, really powerful. It's called Reclaiming the Koheleen Druid, and it's all about reclaiming and unlocking our feminine magic. And class 2 is going to be this really powerful third eye activation of how to step into our feminine freedom. I'm like, do I want my water? No, I'm too busy talking. So this class is going to be about how to release the soul cages, which is this mythological story. The Celtic Merrows of Ireland would rescue these sailors that would be trapped in soul cages, which kept them caught between the worlds. And really what it represents is this storyline that the masculine energies and the feminine polarities have been playing out for eons, of the feminine trying to rescue the masculine who has over-identified with his mind, has been severed from his own heart. And so the feminine has tried to rescue through trying to get validation, trying to do things. And in the process of trying to rescue this masculine energy that has been trapped from his own heart, the feminine has lost herself. Hi, Amara. Good to see you. So this class is going to be about receiving the vision of our higher mind, connecting our solar plexus, which is the lower octave of our third eye. In the 7 sacred seals, the Atmic body is the 6th seal, which is the kind of like the mind of God. So that's what our third eye represents. It represents the mind of God. And because God is so vast in mermaid consciousness, we work with the aspect of God called our inner mermaid. And so when we start to attune to our inner mermaid, she can direct our own thoughts, which represent our power, because our mental body is connected to our solar plexus. So lots to unpack there. I'm not going to go into it now. But this is going to be a really powerful ceremony for us to call back our own magic and to really begin to envision a better life for ourselves, because we can use our imagination as our superpower. So if you want to be eligible for this little giveaway that I'm doing for class 2, all you have to do is just share your name in the chat. And then I'm just going to let my higher self really quickly choose what name is standing out for today. And yeah, and then if you can't join live, there will be a replay. And the class is active now, so that you can purchase that now. Awesome. Yay. So I'm just going to give you guys a moment for those of you that want to participate in the giveaway. Wonderful, wonderful. Yay. I'm so glad to have all of you guys here. Hi, Amara, Mariella, Adriana, Sonia. I love all of you guys so much. I'm so excited that we could all be here live. Brittany, Robin, beautiful. Okay. So I am really feeling strongly the energy of Mariella today. So congratulations, Mariella. You have won class 2. And for those of you that would like to be a part of it, class 2 is available. And if you haven't purchased class 1, that's also available. So the email is or excuse me, you can email me if you don't see that link. It's in my oh yay, Julie's sharing. She already signed up. Aw, Julie, I'm so grateful for all of you. And Ivy, I just saw your name as well. Yeah, Mariela. But there's always opportunities for giveaways. I usually do a monthly giveaway. So if you didn't get a chance today, there'll be many more opportunities. But I've got to go, you guys, because I have to check out of this Airbnb in less than an hour. So I have to do some human things. But thank you guys so much for joining me live, and keep checking. And I'll also be sharing on social and in my newsletter when my deck is finally approved for publication. Hopefully it's today. I'm so excited about it. Have a beautiful day and a beautiful solstice. Love and light to all of you guys. Keep showing up in your feminine magic and expressing your persona every single day. I love you all. Have a great day.